Hello everybody and welcome back. My name is Kari and today I am doing my February TBR. Let's get started. So the first one that I want to read is actually a book I've been reading for several months. It's not a good book and it's also on my Kindle, hence the reason it takes me so long to finish it, but that is Crew Chase and the Pearl Defender by E. Cisco. This is a book, it's like a really crappy version of Harry Potter. There's no personality to any of the characters and I really don't enjoy it, but I'll finish it because I have it. Next up is Milk and Honey by Ruby Kaur. This is a collection of poetry. I'm not really sure how I'm going to feel about it, but I think it ought to be interesting and I'm trying to get out of my comfort zone and read things that I might not traditionally read. Next up is The Amber Spyglass by Philip Pullman. I tried reading this probably 5 years ago and I couldn't really get past the first chapter, but I recently got it on my Kindle. I'm going to be doing a lot of sitting and more traveling than I care to bring physical books with me. So I got this on my Kindle really cheap and the next two, and hopefully it will be better this time around because I keep hearing amazing things about it. Next up is actually a classic, and that is 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea by Jules Verne. I have never had any burning desire to read this book, actually, but the reason I'm reading it is because I recently read All the Light We Cannot See by Anthony Doerr, and in that book the main character is blind, and so her father buys her books that are written in Braille, but those books are incredibly expensive in the 1930s and 40s, therefore he buys her ones that are relatively long. He buys her the first part of 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, and then you follow her and eventually she gets to the second part. But I've never read it, I don't really even know what it's about, but it sounds kind of fun and it was in another book, so I want to read it. I also want to read The Whiskey Sea by Anne Howard Creel. I don't know what this one's about either, but it sounded really good when I saw it on Amazon for my Kindle, so I bought it, and we'll see how it is. Then the February book for Joss over at Scribbles Reads book club has been decided already, and that is Refuge by an author I can't recall at the moment. So I will be getting that book soon and reading that. I also don't know the plot of this book, so I apologize about that, but hopefully I'll like that book better than I liked The Roundhouse, which was the pick for January. Also, as a warning, my February TBR is actually fairly ambitious because, like I said, I am going to be doing quite a bit of sitting and waiting, hence the Kindle, and so I'm just gonna see how many of these books I can get through. Anyway, the next one is The Devil in the White City by Erik Larson. This one has been on my TBR for a long time, and I've heard amazing things about Erik Larson. So, my shelf number 9 went up a bit early, but this was on it, and one of you, Todd, said that this was a really good book and that I should read it next. So, I'm going to make an effort to get to The Devil in the White City in February. I am also going to try to read The Burning Time by Virginia Rounding. This book, it's bright red, and so it just catches my eye every time I look at my shelves, which means I've been desperately wanting to read it since I bought it. Therefore, I am going to try very hard to get to this in February as well, even if it takes me a little bit longer, because it is kind of long and it's a non-fiction. But this is about the Tudors, specifically Henry VIII and Mary Tudor, as they try to basically force England into their own religious beliefs. Apparently, February is going to be a fairly non-fiction heavy month because I am then planning on reading Evicted by Matthew Desmond. This is a story about several families in Wisconsin, I think. Yep, Milwaukee. And their journey to poverty, and he says that eviction causes poverty. I'm not sure if I agree with that premise yet, but I'll let you know at the end of the book. And then a fun book, because I decided I needed something a little bit lighter after those non-fictions. I want to read By Slanderous Tongues by Mercedes Lackey. This is basically Elizabethan fairies. Elizabeth has become queen in this book and has to deal with the fairies who helped her when she was princess. I've read Ill Met by Moonlight before, and this is the next installment in that series, so I am very excited to finally get to this because 1, I love Elizabeth, and 2, I love Mercedes Lackey, and 3, it sounds good. Those are all of the books I want to read in February. I tried to keep it relatively short, but clearly that didn't go terribly well for me. So we will see how many of these I actually get to in the month of February. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a big thumbs up down below, and if you want to see more content like this, hit that subscribe button down below. I will leave my Goodreads linked in the down bar if you want to check out which book I'm reading when in February. But until my next video, bye!